Hello and welcome again this morning. Pastor John here from Pinesburg. We had a junior church kid one time. Every time he'd come to church, he'd have something humongous and biggest. So I'm wishing you the humongous and biggest welcome this morning we can muster up. We're all living through a unique time as businesses are closed and schools are closed, but praise the Lord, life continues. And when push comes to shove, we need to make sure, you and I, everyone listening needs to make sure that our relationship with the Lord is close, that is current, it's up to date. We don't want to have to push the reset button at the last minute to try to make something work. We want to make sure that we're close to Him all the time. Before I forget, I want to thank everyone for yesterday. We did a little thing on our written devotional about putting your favorite TV shows on, and we had a lot of responses and a lot of shows I never even heard of, and I thought I was an old fogey and knew them all, but it was really interesting and cool to see. So I appreciate that. We might do something like it again in the future. I want us today to look at 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. It's my favorite Bible verse. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." That's the key to staying close to the Lord, is rightly dividing the word of truth. If we just know what the book says, it's like any other instruction book. If we just know what the book says, we just know, we don't try to skip parts of it. I'm as guilty as anybody is sometimes. Some of the things that I'll just be honest with you. Sometimes you get to reading and you think, did I just read that? What did I just read? And I just skip over it. But I found in going back over it a lot of times, it's those things that I skipped over is the most important things to think about. He uses the word study. Study like a student does in school. Well, like a student is supposed to do in school, anyhow. She studies so she can pass to the next grade. But this is not being approved by the teacher. This is not being approved by the county or the state board of education. This is being approved by God. Pretty strict boss. Study to show thyself approved. Everything that happens throughout the day is subject to someone's approval. The baseball player is subject to approval by his manager. The worker is subject to approval by his boss. Same way with the new driver and the driver's ed teacher, the student and the teacher, the nurse and the doctor. Everybody has somebody over them and somebody to be approved to. But we are to desire, our heart's desire should be to be approved by God. To have God look at us and say, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." And that we're not ashamed of Him in doing it. How do we do that? By rightly dividing, he says, rightly dividing the word of truth. Study the book like a baseball coach studies, or a baseball player studies the pitcher before he bats. To know what pitch he's going to pitch at a certain spot. We need to know what the book says. The more we know what the book says, the easier for us to get through every day. So let's hit the book, because time is shorter than you think. And until we get together again, you make it a great day, and may God bless.